I want to know, is success based on luck or hard work?
I think hard work. There's no choice. I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to work hard, right? But I've seen many people, amazing people. I think who are much better than me. I think maybe they're just not lucky enough to be there where we are today. I'm talking purely from financial number, $230 million this way.
Hi, and welcome to Indian Explorers. In this podcast, we talk about Indian success stories. I am Sabrina, and together with my co host Amit, we will get to understand the journey of our guests and what drives them. The optimism, patience, idealism, courage, these are their attributes that we want to bring to life in these conversations. If you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Hello.
Good afternoon, Sabrina. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Friday afternoon, end of the week. Good week.
Yep. Yep. Good week, except yesterday I got a call from the school, and you never want that because you know that most likely your kid is not feeling well. So that's what we're dealing with, but we're getting through it. Fever finally broke, and we're just, you know how it is with three little ones at home.
When I get a call from school, I'm like, I'm going to punish the boys. I'm not worried about them getting fever. That's the difference between having a girl and a boy.
It's so true. Mine, actually, I've never even thought that. I'm like, why is the school calling? But it's never. No, she's a little angel. She's actually the one that tattles on other people, and I'm like, do not be the tattletale.
Oh,
Don't.
whistleblower.
Yeah, she's a whistleblower. Well, well, this is not a whistleblowing situation, but I did want to ask you something, especially since you lived in the UK for a long time. Have you heard about this post office scandal going on, or that's been going on forever in the UK?
Um, Not only have I heard of it, I'm obsessed with it, Sabrina. Obsessed.
Oh,
So,
and I know when you get obsessed with a topic,
yeah.
we talk about it for.
Yeah. Do you know what I find funny is
Mhm.
that obviously no one's heard about this in years, and all
Mm-mm.
of a sudden, because of the ITV, TV show of 4 episodes, that it's come up again,
Okay,
and
so let
that's
me let me explain to people
please
listening because they don't know. So, um, this happened, I think, beginning in the 90s, right?
99.
Yeah, there was a scandal that just broke. Well, a drama on ITV did 4 episodes about the post office scandal, which in the 90s, there was a company called Fujitsu. It's a Japanese company. They provided their software to, which is called Horizon, to the post office system, which is overseen by the government in the UK. Now, what Horizon was showing was that the branches were missing money, correct? And oh my gosh, more than 900, let me read this, 900 sub postmasters and postmistresses were prosecuted after the faulty software wrongly made it look like money was missing from these branches. And out of these people, at least four committed suicide, a woman sent to jail while pregnant, bankruptcies, marriage broken, lives ruined. And they came to find out that the software was faulty and these people did nothing wrong.
You,
How
you
sad is
mentioned
that?
one. You mentioned one woman pregnant. Actually, 236 people were in jail.
Yes,
They were-
one being pregnant, right?
yeah,
Yeah, one out of that. But how? I mean, 900
yeah.
were
700 to 900 were actually convicted, and 236 were sent to jail. And ultimately, it was about 26 to 29 bugs that Fujitsu actually came up and said, mea culpa. It was actually our fault. And yeah, people forgot about them. And you know what I found interesting? The post office, there are about 11,500 post offices in the
Mhm.
UK,
Okay.
right? And when I think of the post office, I think, okay, I go there, I buy stamps, and I mail something, right?
Hmm.
Like a FedEx or DHL. The post office in the UK, you can do the following: you can collect your pension, you can buy the lottery, you can do
Oh,
your banking,
okay.
you can
In
get
the post
insurance,
office?
you can get insurance for your pets. I'm not even kidding, Sabrina.
I'm surprised you could
Uh,
do your banking at a post
Driving
office.
license, pay your taxes. They're basically financial institutions.
Wow. And through this, or before 1999, people had brought to light that, hey, I think this software has a lot of glitches. These numbers don't seem right, but nothing happened. No one did anything.
Well, there was one guy, right? The what the show is about. What's his name? Alan Bates.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the name of the ITV show, I believe, is called Alan Bates versus the Post Office,
Have you
and he
seen
was
it?
I have not. No.
Okay.
Over here, ITV, you have to get a VPN and download it illegally, and we
Okay.
don't
I
do those
wonder if I
things.
could see it here in the US.
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay.
So what happened was this Alan Bates was actually one of the so-called what are they called, postmasters, who
Mm-hmm.
worked the till, and he was accused, and he actually created some sort of a like an organization because he found out there were like a couple hundred people that he knew who also were told the same thing by Fujitsu and the UK prosecution. They said, you're the only one, and this is the only post office in the region that has missing 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 pounds. And he obviously was really embarrassed and lost face. A lot of people got illnesses, like you mentioned, and some people committed suicide.
Yeah.
And only when they realized that actually this is happening to 200 people did they form some sort of an organization and a committee, and they went against the UK government, and I believe they won something like £20,000 each. And £20,000 each was nothing because they actually had to pay for the losses
Yeah.
of each office. So totally embarrassing for the UK.
So let me ask you now, it's 25 years later. How do you compensate these individuals who were wrongly accused?
So Fujitsu has come out and said, we are responsible, or we are part of the problem, so we will be part of the compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the UK government also, Rishi Sunak himself, the PM, actually said, we will get justice for all these people. The onus has always been, though, on these individuals, these 700 people, the ones that are still around and not dead, because
Yeah.
this was 1999 to 2015. They
Yeah.
have to come up and they have to say, hey, I was one of those guys, prove that they were wrongfully done. And then each one was going to get some sort of compensation. The,
Yeah.
the
I
funny
wonder
thing
what I'll be
is,
curious to see what that compensation is.
yeah, the funny thing is, Fujitsu is still with Horizon running the postal office accounting
I
system.
know. I know. And now they say, "Oh my god, the software like has this it's extremely credible." But
Yeah,
at the loss of what,
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they haven't been held accountable yet.
Correct. But imagine 10 million people saw the show on ITV, and then they petitioned in the government. In the government, I believe you have this system in the UK that you go online and you can submit a petition. I want to, whatever it is, I want to show ABC. And if
Mhm.
more than X number of people sign, then it actually is addressed in the parliament.
Parliament. Okay.
Yeah, so this hit 1 million, the 1 million mark. So it actually got to the parliament, and
Okay.
that's where,
Okay.
yeah, that's why the UK government is forced to
Mhm.
act.
Here,
Otherwise, for
you
the
send a
last,
letter to your member of Congress, your Congress person or representative, or your senator. And because I've worked there, I know the piles of letters we would get. And
yeah,
you hope that the person opening the letter will hand it to
yeah.
the representative.
But think about it, right? I mean, back in 1999 to 2015, without Twitter and social media, if you are accused of something like this, when you go back home, your own partner, your children, your
Oh,
community,
yeah.
everyone's looking at you like, you thief. And they've lived, you know 10, 20 years with this in their soul,
I
nobody
know.
really believing them, because this is the UK government
Yeah.
versus an individual in a small town. So yeah, people did kill themselves, and people
Yeah.
have got illnesses, and giving them now 50, 100, 200,000
That's what I
pounds
said. What's
for for 10 years of misery and mental drama,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not good enough.
No, it's not. It's not. I like you said, I still can't believe that Fujitsu is still a part of the postal system in the UK providing their software, but what a
What would
crazy
happen in the
story.
US? What would happen in the US, Sabrina, if this happened in the US? People would go out on the streets and there'd be violence?
No, I mean,
No?
I don't think there'd be violence over this,
Yeah.
probably there'd be a judicial committee hearing in Congress to oversee what happened. And then it would take, I mean, bureaucracy, there's so much red tape. They'd take forever. Then they'd put out their opinion on what happened.
Yeah.
And, and then we
Sure.
hope something happens, right?
Yeah.
To the
Anyway,
individuals that were at fault.
let's see what happens. But very sad indeed.
Yes. Yeah. What else? Anything else going on?
Let's see. I bought Bitcoin many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I say many years ago, I bought Bitcoin when it was like 8,000. Then I bought it 11,000. Then I bought it 15,000.
Okay.
And every time it went 60% up, I would sell half of what I bought.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I would do quite well. But then I bought at 47,000, 55,000, 64,000, 65,000. Because
Yeah.
what I had bought previously went up 60%. So I'd sell
Of
half and
course.
buy.
Yeah.
So now it's been what, 2.5 years where I've been making a loss on
Yeah.
Bitcoin, not assuming the profits that I used to
Yeah.
buy.
Separate from that.
Yeah, correct. And now finally, with the Bitcoin ETFs being approved, um, I can see Bitcoin now at around 42,000,
Mm-hmm.
and my average price now is around 55. So I'm
Okay.
still whatever I've got left. It's not
Yeah.
a lot of money, but to see something in red for 2.5 years, and then all of a sudden, you know, because there's so many payments that I made, 500, 500, 500, $500,
Okay.
and then to see all of them red, and now 70% of them are green.
Yeah.
Now I want to look at my
What?
portfolio. Yeah,
Yeah.
now correct. Yeah, I'm thinking
you
the
know,
day everything goes green, do I just hit sell and just the drama is gone? What's
maybe, the stress of it, but Bitcoin and NFTs, right? Is it NFTs? There
Yeah,
I I still don't get them. Like I get
non
it, but I
fungible
don't.
tokens.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't. Like I'm like, but is it there? What am I investing in? It's
Yeah, I
really
get
not
Bitcoin.
there.
I get Bitcoin in terms of store value and not relying on the government and inflation and all that stuff. NFTs, having a picture of Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan dunk or a 5-second video, and then having someone produce 100 copies and saying you own one of 100, two
I
of
don't get
100,
it.
and then selling those when I could do exactly the same thing and print it out online for free.
Exactly.
There's a reason why all the NFTs have collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't buy any.
I didn't buy any. I don't get it, so I didn't buy any.
Yeah.
I just
To be honest with you, I think I bought Bitcoin even when I didn't really get it, because of the people that I was following, like the uber successful people on Twitter. They couldn't stop talking about it, so I did. I was a dummy. I did ride the wave with them, and I have suffered 2 years now.
Well, hopefully
You
the
know,
profits you made before that outweigh the losses.
who can tell? I'm just thinking about my holiday, Sabrina. I'm going tomorrow to India for a few weeks, so
Yes.
looking forward to see the boys and my wife. It's been
Yes,
a
and
while.
scope out some other guests for our show.
Good point. Good point.
Well, let's bring on today's guest.
Sounds good.
So, Amit is the founder and CEO of pasajeboost.com, Chile's first and the biggest live online bus ticket aggregating platform. Pasajeboost.com is streamlining the inner city bus ticketing industry across Latin America. The company is incubated by Microsoft Image Business Lab, Chile, and counts Kaufman, Mercedes Benz representative, Make My Trip Redbus, as the lead investors. Amit has an MBA with specialization in finance and marketing and has worked with leading private equity and investment banks. So, welcome. How are you? I haven't had the chance to meet you yet, but I've heard so much about you.
Thank you, Sabrina. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing
It's my
great. Thank you.
time.
Hi,
I'm
boss.
excited. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you, and I want to get into the meat of it today. Tell us about Kupos. I see your shirt, and tell us about this amazing platform you built. Why Chile, and how this idea came up.
Well, thank you for the invitation, and I'm sorry for being late, Amit.
Mm.
Thank you for the patience
No.
over there. So, Sabrina, nice to meet you. Well, Kupos, we are a ground transportation aggregator. So, whatever you see as a frequently used ground transportation, bus, train, transfer, is part of Kupos network. So, we are the largest and the leading player in the market in Chile, looking for expansion in Latam. On the top of this, we also have our own wallet, which is called Kupos Pay. And so all the network that you see inside Kupos is powered by our own wallet. And that's in resume what we do, you know.
Okay.
Can we step back?
Where?
Can we step back, Sabrina? Before we
Okay.
talk about the business, I know Amit. I consider him a friend. I've had meals with him, conversations with him, and I'm so proud to have another Indian explorer based in Chile, where I live, that I'm particularly excited about that. So, Amit, first of all, explain to our audience the story you shared with me about how you chose coming to Chile, like instead of the other city you were going to move to. Can you give us that background?
Yeah, sure, Amit. I think I don't know. Since we all have some this origin connections to India, we can correlate and connect to it. So I think I call it a destiny or a luck, whatever you call it. So I was working with Deutsche Bank for a company called eValue Serve, but supporting Deutsche Bank, and they gave me an offer to move to New York or Chile. And recently, around that time, I got married just like 1 month or 2 months before, right? And I don't know honestly why. That's the real answer. Could be my wife. She said, "Okay, let's go to Chile. You know, once you're an investment banker, it's very easy for you to move to New York or London or other markets, right?" I think that's how we ended up being in Chile. So, and to be again honest, I never studied, I had no idea what Chile is. The only thing I knew Chile is something around Argentina, Brazil, and that's all. Honestly, I had absolutely no idea. So I call it my destiny. You know, I ended up being
So, New York over, he chose Santiago
here.
over New York, which sums up his personality. Like, you must be a little bit crazy to make that decision. And, that craziness and eccentricity is what I think has made him so successful in Chile.
So, did you already have the idea of Pasaje Bus before moving to Chile? Like, was it in the back of your head? How did that idea come about?
No, see, Sabrina, you know, there's an interesting story that I shared with Amit also about this. So the reality is, again, you know, there are a lot of dots connected here. You know, when I was growing up and I was doing MBA, so there was this guy called Fanindra Sharma. So he was the founder of Bus, which is world's largest online bus ticketing platform today. And he was the poster boy in India for startup poster boy in India. So anybody I always wanted to be a businessman, and this is one thing I remember when I was in class. I don't know, 5, 6. If any teacher would ask, "What do you want to be in your life?" I was clear I want to do business, right? So I grew up seeing two people who really I looked up to. One is Fanindra Sharma, then Deep Kalra. He was the founder of Make My Trip. And you see how life comes in full circle. Make My Trip happened to acquire Redbus, and Make My Trip ended up becoming an investor in my company. So when I came to Chile, I already knew Fanindra, what he was doing, and I was really very closely looking up to him, right? And I found this opportunity, man. I mean, how come I was really looking up to Fanindra, what he did, and something it doesn't exist in Chile, and also this long pending dream of building my or doing something of my own, right? So that's how I ended up being doing Pasake Boost of Kupos today.
Well, fantastic. I went to the website and I was like, okay, so you can buy bus tickets, train tickets, airport transfers, specialty cars. There was just such an vast array of choices. I've never seen anything like that in the US. I live in Texas and I feel like if I need to, I hardly buy a bus ticket here, but if I did, I would have to go to one platform. If I have to buy a train ticket, which I have, then I go right to Amtrak. So,
Amtrak, yeah.
do you know if there's anything like that here in the US?
Sabrina, I don't see, I don't think at the top of my mind any company doing exactly what we're doing, like focused on aggregating all the ground transportations in one place. But the only company that I can think of who's trying to do similar to what we're doing is Uber. They're also trying to incorporate most of the services that we are doing. Well, we are partnered with Uber, so Uber, if they sell bus tickets in Chile, it's powered by Kupos.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Can
Very
you give us
cool.
an idea of the size? How many thousand, 100,000, million customers does Kupos deal with on a monthly basis? If you can give us an idea of either market cap or revenue, just to give you an idea to people, Chile has 18 million people, so it's not a
Yes,
very
yes.
big country. So how big is Kupos relative to that 18 million population?
Yeah, so Amit, we move on an average this month more than 1.2 million people total across all the systems that we have. Like 1.2 million people every month are transported directly or indirectly via Kupos with the systems. That is the number of passengers or seats that we transact. 230 million dollars is what we
Okay.
transacted
That
last year. Yeah,
that's GMV.
that's GMV. That's GMV for all the tickets, everything online, offline that is transacted through our system, right? And
Okay,
talking about only e-commerce, only marketplace, purely online, roughly around $110 million. That was
okay.
last
I
year.
actually see Kupos. I see Kupos.cl in all these big red buses. It's
Right?
like in your face. I mean,
Yeah.
your marketing is brilliant.
Thank you. I'll pass this comment to my marketing team. Yeah, they're doing good, I think.
How long ago did you start the company?
Well, it's been 10 years, Sabrina, and I think full time, like me leading Deutsche Bank and being 100% is 8 years. 8 years
8
full
years.
on with
And
Kupos.
can you share? So I watched on Netflix it was a limited series about Uber. So it was interesting to see the challenges they faced at the beginning. What type of challenges did you guys face at the beginning?
Well, Uber, such an interesting thing that you picked up. No, I think well, building any company is not easy, and Amit also has his own companies and everything. But what Uber did, I think, is the most challenging thing that I can think of. Because all these taxi companies have their own tie-ups, the gangs, and scaling a company like Uber is really, really, it's once in a generational thing, right? That can happen. So I really look up to Travis for what he built, right? For me, talking about Cooper, the challenges, honestly, you know, first convincing the bus operator to be part of this ecosystem, because we're the pioneer of this industry in Chile, and telling the bus operator, okay, we can do something at a time when the online sales were less than 1 or 2% in the market. I think only two bus companies had online ticketing. That's also more of a show off. Okay, we have online, but there was no materialistic contribution of online ticketing or online sales channel inside the company, right? So convincing them, so it was very tough, and I'm still struggling with Spanish. So I always deal with business looking at numbers. So I only just see the numbers and I try to crack it, and that's how we have been growing. But language has had been an important barrier, but that also I quickly learned how to play the strength, build the right team, so that we can contribute to our strength, and that way. And honestly, rest of the challenge, Sabrina, I don't know how to restrict this. Nothing big challenging that we did or anything, nothing near to what Uber did. I think we were very lucky. Things fell in place. There were two incidents where we went out of money completely. I don't like using this word bankruptcy, but that was those situations also. So I have wonderful team people, and they stood by me. And I think I know, because of my finance background, I think that really helped me manage the company well, because of working capital management. We have payment cycles delayed, and we managed it, and we could close the funding at the right time with one of the biggest family office in Chile. So, but apart from this, I think it's a reality of most of the companies. I don't think nothing extremely big challenging
Okay.
that we did, huh?
But I mean, if you hadn't got the buses on board, well, then, right? That I mean, that was the main challenge. Get the buses on board, or there's no
The
company,
supply,
right?
get the supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the most complicated part, Kupos is a marketplace, right? So the most important part, you have to put a very good balance between the demand and supply, right? Let's say if I have too
Hmm.
much supply and if I do not generate any demand for them, the bus operator will quit the platform, right? They won't see any value.
Of course.
And if I have too much demand and if I do not show them the services or what they're looking
Hmm.
at, that also doesn't work out. So that is that's the nature of the business. That's the nature of any marketplace that you try to build. The demand supply balance is very very crucial. But again, I don't think it is like a challenging thing. Like I think things sooner or
Yeah.
later fell
Right.
in place. We also went through depression. We also went through bankruptcy kind of situation. But when you stick to when you perseverant, things sooner or later falls
Yeah.
in place, right?
Right.
Sabrina,
Right.
he's been humble. I mean, his name and his company is on the newspapers, the financial press in Chile on a very regular basis. Like I had no idea who he was, and I reached out on him on LinkedIn, and credit to him, he immediately replied. We shared the same first name, and I connected, and it was humble from day one. Amit, I wanted to ask you about working in Chile. You've worked with employees and lots of employees in Chile. How do you feel uh, business has helped you in this country? What do you think of this country?
No, I think Chile. Now we're exploring. We're in the middle of a few M&A across Latam, and one thing I can definitely tell you that Chile is the country to have your to have your center of the business. You won't find another Chile in Latam. So you can find many things, but the business maturity and the kind of infra that we have and the kind of contacts that you have, Chile as a government across it's incredible, huh? So I don't think if I could have built the same Pasakibus or Kupos in Argentina this easily or any other country, right? So Chile is amazing, and I don't know again if I was lucky or no. I I mean, for me, connecting some of the some of the very leading business families are involved in Kupos, right? Which are very big public names, like Dairy Family. We have Kaufman guys behind us. So I don't think I could have contacted or I could have reached to any diary in India or that easily as they received me, and we strike this deal in 6, 7, 8 months time. I have multiple such examples. For example, we have a president of our company is called Alberto Altra. He represents South America for DHL. And literally, I tell you what happened. I met him in Starbucks. I met him in Microsoft, and then I invited him for a coffee. Sabrina, he gave me a check in a second meeting without knowing anything. I didn't even have my company registered, and I still have that check, the photocopy of that check. I asked him, "What do I give you in return?" He said, "Don't worry about me. Just keep building what you're doing, and we'll connect. I know whenever you have the company built, you give it to me." And I have multiple such stories. For example, so the first angel investor in my company is my ex-boss. He was the managing director of Deutsche Bank, Paul Ginocchio. Very same thing, of course. He was my boss, and I would never ask him to put money in my company. And this is unprofessional. Also, I don't know. The first time he called me, I was like, okay, maybe it's a courtesy call. He just want to try to see if he can help me out. Then second call, third call, fourth call, I really had the money in my bank account. So a lot of this happened, and this time I did not even have a
Wow.
company registered. Nothing. Forget about shares.
Well, that says a lot about you. They had trust in you and your idea
That's who you back,
before.
right? That's who
Yeah.
you back when you have a
Of
startup
course.
idea.
Like,
Yeah,
we know this guy's going to make it happen.
Yes, maybe that's what I believe, and maybe luck, and then something happened to me. Maybe things really fell in for me at the right time, the right place. But there are a few people, who really gave me their support for nothing in return. Like I had investors
That's
without
great.
giving them share because I didn't have company registered. And I'm also very lucky that today I could give them. There are investors like all these guys. They have 70, 80x written in the company since the time they joined the company until today. So
when you exit.
Yeah, well, none
when
of
you
them
exit?
has made an exit, and none of them, I don't. It doesn't look like they want to make an exit near soon, no. But the good part, when somebody trusted you and you could also generate wealth, that's the best thing,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
What's next, Amit? Like, what's next?
Yeah.
Are you going to IPO in the stock exchange in Chile? You mentioned you're looking at regional expansion in other countries. Where do you see Kupos in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so I mean, we're trying to, you see, we're not a typical startup who wants just to grow at any cost and want to then one day sell the company. Kupos is literally my daughter. So so the guys I look up to is like from India, like Dhirubhai Ambani or Horst Polman from Chile, and these guys, right? So the idea is to build a company here. So it's not a typical startup that I'm looking for an exit. And you see, most of my investors make my trade, or you call Kaufman, they're very super strategic investors. It's part of their business, right? So the idea, honestly, I mean, the emotional drive here is, is really. I think the financial problem for me is already behind. I already have enough equity in the company, the valuation. I don't need more money to make for my rest of my life. So emotional, what is next in the company is if I can build something that I can make really India and Chile proud. Okay, this is the company that really makes a difference, and I'm not big enough to say that I can move a generation ahead, but if I think we are definitely in a position, if we really play well the way we are growing, we can really move the Chilean citizens a few generations ahead, how they have been traveling, how they're going to travel in the next couple of years, right? So that's the core of our philosophy, how we can build an iconic company. Let's say even if the government of Chile tomorrow wants to take a decision on the ground transportation, we expect the government to call us to at least take our input and advice. That's where we want to be. We are now looking for multiple expansions. We are looking for a couple of M&As. Some of the we looking very closely. Hopefully, two M&As might should fall in place in the second quarter of this year.
That you are acquiring.
Yeah,
You are acquiring.
we are acquiring in two different
Okay.
markets outside Chile. This year, one of the another plan that we have is we're gonna penetrate Kupos Pay very intensively. So we have this internal plan where my partner might take over the company as the mobility CEO, and I might. So I want to build the fintech arm of the company. You see, when you start moving 1.2 million people, and you have $230 million turnover, and it's growing right exponentially. Our year-on-year growth is 70% plus, right? Then
7-0.
70% plus at these numbers also, right?
Wow.
So then there's we
So it's a
already have,
digital wallet.
yeah, it's a digital wallet. It's more like a Mercado Pago, but very much customized solution. We are looking for a very niche markets. So on that segment where we see a lot of strategic positioning from my partner, Kaufman is very well positioned. So that way. So again, if Kupos Pay goes fine and if things really fall in place, how we are planning it in by 2028, you will see at least 7 to 800 million dollar turnover should be coming only from Kupos Pay part of the business, and all profitable, right? All cash
Fantastic.
flow positive, not even EBITDA. So that's how we see
We'll hold you to it, Amit.
it.
In a few years' time, we'll have another chat. Sabrina, I think we need to jump into the rapid fire, given the time we've got left.
I had one question though.
Go for it.
You mentioned luck, right?
Yeah.
I want to know, is success based on luck or hard work?
I think hard work. There's no choice. I mean, you have to. You have to work hard, right? But I've seen many people, amazing people. I think who are much better than me. I think maybe they're just not lucky enough to be there where we are today. I'm talking purely from financial number, $230 million this way.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think luck plays a very important role today. Also, when I take some guy's name, like some of them I consider mentor, very good friends, and this thing like Diary of Kaufman, these guys, honestly, I have to be very lucky to go and be in such a good relation and convince them to put this money, their money and their name in this company. Because if you come to Chile, these guys are really big public figure. I mean, putting a money on somebody who does not even speak one line of Spanish
Sure.
properly, it has to be a lucky deal,
I think you're being humble.
right?
I don't think
Sabrina,
that's luck. I think that's
Sabrina,
your
I
reputation,
had
a good
lunch with this
reputation.
guy on Saturday afternoon. We finished at
Hmm.
5 p.m. I went home with the boys to kick a ball. This guy went to the office on a Saturday, 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's your hard work, it's your dedication.
yeah.
So, yeah. But I like your answer. I love your answer.
Thank you, Sabri.
Okay. Amit, I'm going to ask some questions. Give us some short answers, please. All right. First of all, a bad habit that you are trying to get out of.
A bad habit, I think speaking less, trying to be more precise and overshot as we're growing the company. I think it's something I have to urgently fix.
Okay.
Okay. Um, assuming you have a bucket list, what's the next thing you want to cross on your list?
No, sir, Sabrina, honestly, I have only one thing in the bucket list is how to make Kupos an iconic company which can make India and Chile proud. I don't have any other goal in my life.
That's very cool.
So nothing.
Very
Wow.
cool. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm sure they're already proud, but they're going to be even prouder.
As an Indian living in Chile, I'm already proud of this guy.
Yeah.
Um, favorite book that you like to gift or read over and over again?
If it's a startup, I think I love this book called Blitzscaling. I think I have read this book three times and I love it.
What's it called,
It's
Amit?
called Blitzscaling. Blitzscaling from Reid Hoffman, from this guy from LinkedIn founder. Blitz, like BLIT, scaling. You know how you
Yep.
can blitz scale a company like a company.
Blitzscaling.
Exactly.
Blitzscaling. Yeah,
That,
yeah, I've
that
heard of it.
yeah, that's an amazing book.
Oh,
I thoroughly.
We'll add it to the list, Sabrina.
yes, absolutely. I mean, we've seen that all our guests are avid readers. That's what, one thing that makes them successful. So we like to see what they're reading so
So we can
he
copy
and
it.
I can get to that point. Yeah.
Sabrina, your turn.
Okay. If you could use only one social media platform, what would it be?
LinkedIn.
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 Okay. Keep growing the business.
Okay.
And also the content is very much, what you like. The content is very good there. It's very professional content
Okay.
and there's no
Not Snapchat.
spam. Well, I'm not a very, very social guy, that way. So the only network that I use LinkedIn. So maybe I do not know what Snapchat, how good or bad it is. Huh?
Okay.
So,
Sabrina, mine's Tinder.
We know.
Okay. Amit, if you won the lottery, what would you buy first?
what I would buy first?
You won $100 million lottery ticket.
No,
What would you buy that you don't have today?
no. Maybe I will build some school to promote Indian culture or Indian this thing in Latin. So I think I'm content with my life, Amit. I think I have everything. Whatever I want to buy, I can buy it today. So luckily, but
Yeah.
if I have $100 million, somebody giving it to me, I would use something to promote something. Otherwise, it would take a lot of time for me to get there, like promoting India and making our culture
Yeah.
more familiar with in Latin countries.
That would not be my answer, Sabrina.
I know that wouldn't be your answer. Probably wouldn't be my answer either, even though you and I are different. But I love that. I mean, you're amazing.
Me
Okay.
or both Amits?
Both of this.
No, Amit Sodani is amazing. Okay. You have to name, because I bet you're going to say there's none, but you have to name one celebrity you would like to have dinner with.
One celebrity I would like to have dinner with. Well, he's not there. I would love to have dinner with Steve Jobs. If I show you my mobile phone, you can see Steve Jobs right there.
Oh,
Uh,
very
so
cool.
there's
Why
this.
Steve?
Is
Why?
No, well, I do not know if I can express myself well. There's this Stanford, this speech of from Steve Jobs, and Amit, I have seen this speech at
The
least
commencement.
the commencement speech, and I have seen it at least
Yeah.
3,000 times plus, and literally 3,000 times plus, and every week, couple of times I see it. And the more as if I can call myself, I'm getting wiser or I know more, and I am exploring life, and every time I learn something new, something in between the line that this guy want to say. And I think he was a really, really cool, wise guy.
He was inspirational.
Yeah, he
His
was
work ethic was extremely inspirational.
extremely,
Sabrina, let's
extremely.
put it's on YouTube. Let's put it in the show notes. It's I haven't seen it in years, but I did
Neither
enjoy
have
it.
I. Yeah.
I mean, that is for me. That is like Bible or Gita for me. Honestly, that those few minutes, 3,000 times I've seen it, and there's not a single week I remember that I haven't seen it two, three times. Even like maybe this weekend, I haven't. I love it. That is like
He's He went to India, right? He
Yes,
does yoga. He was very
Mm-hmm.
spiritual.
yes. He went
Mm-hmm.
to Hare Krishna, Hare Rama temples, and he became vegetarian, eating less, and how do you feel?
Yep.
He was
Yeah.
really
So
laser focused.
so Steve Jobs versus Elon Musk. Who
No,
would
both
you?
actually. If you would have asked me for the second guy, is Elon Musk. If I open my screen, mobile screen, it would be Elon Musk. He is amazing. No, these are the two guys.
Got it.
Honestly, if I could,
And what
You've
about
read
in
his
India?
book, I'm assuming. You've read the biography on Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yes, a lot.
Yeah.
I think I follow everywhere. Whatever I can read about him, I do. I think that guy is amazing. Yes, well, he's the guy.
I I read about the first chapter. Not bad, but it's all about him being bullied and how his father didn't love him, and like he's had a tough life.
Yes.
I can't recommend the book yet. I'm still, only one chapter down. Sabrina, why don't you ask the last question?
Sure. Um, if you were frozen in time for 20 years, okay, you're frozen, your body's frozen for 20 years. You wake up. What would your first question be
Where's my
to the
daughter?
person?
Non-Kupos related.
Where's my
Oh, I
daughter?
was going to say, what happened with Kupos? That's
No. After 20 years or anytime, I would ask, Kupos would definitely be the second question, but I would look for my daughter. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She's my wife. She's called Amaya. And my mom, definitely. Where are these two people?
yes.
And then
I was
followed by my
Wonderful.
thinking,
wife and my
I was
company, of
thinking,
course.
is my wife still around? He mentioned his daughter and his mom. He didn't mention his wife. Let's hope, let's hope your wife is like my wife and doesn't see this podcast.
Exactly. Well, I would make sure that she doesn't see it.
Yeah. Great answer. Great answer.
I'm now going to find her on social media and I'm going to send her this link.
And tag
We had a
her.
lovely lunch together. She's really lovely. She's from
Yeah.
Bombay. She's from my
Uh,
hometown. Not my. She's from
and,
Chandni, my wife's hometown,
and no, yeah, she's from New Delhi, from
New
Faridabad,
Delhi.
New
Okay.
Delhi. Yeah, she's very nice.
I know we're pressed for time today. One last question. Did you learn Spanish after all?
No, Sabrina. Maybe these things like could sound like too emotional, too dramatic. I only do think that I love doing it. I don't do anything in my life that I do not love doing it. If I enjoy something, also I do not do it. It's not about Spanish, not to get misinterpreted. I do not want to learn any language, so Spanish or French. So if I do not think that I am enjoying it, life is too short, and this is coming from Steve Jobs. So I don't want to waste even one single moment of doing something if I do not love it. But well, I am learning Spanish with my daughter and just hearing it, but
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
learned enough,
It,
enough to grow the company.
yeah, and now I have wonderful, beautiful team behind, and these guys are amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Great.
I think he summed up success. Appreciate every moment in your life. Life is short, and do what you love doing. And you're so dedicated and passionate about it that you don't actually think it's a job. It's actually
Yeah.
your pastime, and you love doing it. I think Amit, the way you've built Kupos, I've been here 11 years. I've seen you come up, over the last decade. I've seen where Kupos was 10 years ago and where you are today, and the numbers you've reached, and how you've done it in such a quiet, hardworking manner. Really, kudos to you. I can't wait for the next 10 years of Kupos. And I just want to thank you for your time. I know you're in the middle of some serious M&A activities, and the fact that you took time to spend it with us is really we're humbled by it.
Thank you, Amit, and I'm sorry once again for being late, and I really appreciate. And I follow you guys, and you guys are doing a wonderful job,
Oh, thank you.
and that I can appreciate. Very, very good quality content. I think I've seen one of the last podcast. I just forgot his guy's name. This guy from US, an Indian American guy, you took. He's very much involved in startup funding and everything. I just forgot the
Sujay
name.
Tile,
Yeah,
Tile.
exactly.
Yeah. Impressive guy as well.
Very nice
Yes.
guy. And
you
very,
remind me of him.
yeah.
Apart from the
Yeah.
Harvard at 15 was a bit of a shocker.
No,
Amit, thank you so much.
thank you.
Like I said, we know you're busy and we appreciate you rushing to join us today. I wish you all the best. I can't wait to hear more about your company. I think the sky's the limit. So Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sabrina.
And everyone, this has been another episode of Indian Explorers. I hope you were inspired just as much as we were. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I think this guy's fantastic. So, um please share with others and subscribe. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.